Thank you for being so patient. I think we're almost there. So I think we've got everyone, all the speakers here. It's an absolutely fantastic panel today. Really is rest of the best. And the reason this panel kind of came together is at the start of the week, you might have seen it, as Web3 Career, we literally spent weeks scouring the web, trying to find what are the best Web3 educational resources that are out there, because we have hundreds of thousands of people coming to our site every single month, and they're looking for a job. They're looking to break through into the Web3 space, quite a lot of them. And for many people, they're coming from Web2 and entering into Web3, and they're needing those kind of really quick learns to kind of figure out what's going on. In fact, even myself, we just had a new SEO guy kind of join us, and he comes from a Web2 background. And my first thing was, hey man, like just go check out the thread. So if you haven't already, check out the thread on Web3 Career. It's under our highlights page. It's an immense list, 50 strong educational providers, and we've highlighted some of our favorites in there as well. And all those favorites are here right now. So I'd love to kind of go around the room and hear from everyone. And I'm actually going to ask a bit of a hot take as well as the intro. I think if you've listened to Spaces, you've heard many of these intros and how they usually go, but I would love your intro in terms of who you are, the company that you're representing, the education provider, but also your insight right now into the kind of state of learning, upskilling in Web3, maybe kind of trends that you're seeing. So Ornella, thank you for joining. You're here from Bankless Academy, phenomenal brand, phenomenal. You guys have just been around such a long time. Would love you to say a quick hello and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Yes, thank you so much for making the space and for highlighting education, such an important topic and needed when everyone is trying to learn a new technology. So yeah, my name is Arnella. I've been part of the Bankless Academy community for some years now, and it was the way that we felt we could contribute to the ecosystem by creating an educational platform that is open source, that is free to use, and that can take you from zero to hero at your pace with simple and clear lessons. So yeah, they're all related to Ethereum and sharing about communities. So yeah, it's a very interesting initiative that is community driven, created by members of a DAO that started also under the Bankless ecosystem a few years ago. Now that DAO doesn't not here anymore, but it was a great launchpad to create the Bankless Academy educational project. So yeah, happy to be here with so many other educational communities. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Nella. So next up, I would love to hear from Steph. Steph, you're coming in from Shefi. We just hung out together in the metaverse not so long ago.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for the invite. Hi, everyone. I am Steph. I'm here representing Shefi, which, in case you are not familiar, is a 8-week-long program for women and non-binary folks specifically to learn blockchain from any knowledge or expertise into feeling comfortable and confident on chain by the end, and then having the additional supportive community of tens of thousands of other women, members, alumni backing you up. And I myself actually have been in Web3 only for about a year. October last year is when I joined Shefi on the social side and really just got a bootstrapped education by taking the course. And now it feels like second nature. So I'm happy to say that our program definitely works and the vibes are wonderful. And it's so awesome to see these other community members and brands here today that also believe in our mission that, crypto is for everyone and we're making good things happen.
Awesome. So good to have you here, Steph. Next, I want to kind of bring up Artem for a Mighty study. And Artem, when we were building this list, I'll be honest, you were a very late addition. And then when we dug in, we were like, oh, these guys are awesome. So I think I discovered you through Twitter and I found someone just mentioning you. But as I went to the platform, I was like, oh, great. This is really cool. So would love you to kind of introduce yourself and a bit of your hot take around, the current kind of state of learning in web.
Oh, yeah, guys, sure. So my name is Art, and we with Mighty, we built gamified Web3 educational systems. So in Mighty.study, we provide a platform where basically anyone, students on one side, teachers or business on the other side, they can construct their own educational systems or study any kind of courses. So far, we have more than 200 courses, maybe already 250, around that number, about everything within Web3, NFTs, DeFi, RWAs, everything. And we also have one of the most extensive gamification features, not only within Web3, but overall in general. And we help projects with complex products do their onboarding, and at the same time, we help students to understand Web3 for free. And you can think of it as like Duolingo plus questing service in a way. And what we are solving is we're solving the educational motivation of students in a nutshell. We are thinking really hard about how do you actually improve the real motivation of students, not only within Web3, but in general. And Web3 is a very good medium on how you can actually boost motivation sustainably with the long-term goal in mind.
Really, really cool. And thank you for joining. And next up, I want to bring, we've got Louis here. Louis is from Vottun. We connected maybe 6 months ago, and we're really impressed with the amount of learning resources that you guys have. So Louis, just want to say a quick hello and introduce yourself and a bit of your take on education at the moment.
Hello, everyone. Yes, this is Luis Carvajo from Vottun. I am the co-founder of a platform that basically has been targeting or what we are trying to do is bring new developers to Web3, focusing mainly in Web2 developers that they want to do this transition. And now we are more focusing on education than even on the infrastructure that we are providing to developers, because we find out by our own experience that we still need to do a lot of teaching, right? And not only just to developers, but also to what we call crypto curious. So people that they are coming to crypto because for whatever reason they invest in a meme for a friend or whatever they are finding or reading about Bitcoin, and they want to learn a little bit more about what's going on this Web3 community. So we launched very recently what we call Bequest, that is a gamified platform for providing learning to crypto curious people, that they can start learning in a very easy way what's going on about the different projects, that understand what are the benefits of participating in different communities, different things that I think that it's important for converting these kind of crypto curious users into power users, that they really understand what are the possibilities of this amazing technology. So yeah, very happy to be here and tell you more about what we are doing with this kind of educational tracks / kind of like TikTok education that we provide.
Yeah, amazing. You guys are doing a great job. Love what we saw when we dived in. And next up, I just want to bring up Imeth. And Imeth, I'm going to actually give you a question as well after you've introduced yourself, because I want to kind of kick us straight in and get us flowing. So introduce yourself. And then the question I'd love you to answer is, boot camps versus kind of formal education. What actually produces hireable talent? And I think you guys are at a good kind of space for kind of kicking this question off, because for a lot of people looking to break into Web3, they don't know, is it just a quick course I need to do? Is it a full university? Where do people begin? And I think you're in a great kind of position to speak into that. So just introduce yourself and let me know your thoughts on that angle.
Hey guys, my name is Imet. I'm the head of operations at Vottun. I've got to say this is my first time participating in an X space with so many fellow educated, I would say. And it's really, really exciting to see so many products and services offered in Web3 specifically. To answer Paul's question, when it comes to the difference between the bootcamp and universities is something I can relate to personally, because I followed a degree. I have a Bachelor of Engineering in Software Engineering, and I've done the degree for 4 years, right? And when it comes to going through taking all these classes and making sure the assignments are done on time, I feel like if the things that I learned in my university, they could have been taught much faster. And that's the kind of mindset that we brought into our Web3 Beginner Bootcamp. And we've been able to upskill a person who's starting from zero with no technical background whatsoever to learn full stack development. This is mainly because initially kicked off Metana with just the Solidity Bootcamp. So we were focusing on Web2 developers who had experience developing, at least 2 years of experience. And after that, we upskilled them through a filtration process. So they need to be answer some questions. And over the years, we got a lot of demand from non-technical people who wanted to shift into Web3 and pursue a career in coding. And that's when we realized, okay, we need to come up with something to upskill them. So, and if you look at these traditional software engineering degrees, there's a lot of them, right? And there's a reason I would say you need to learn all these database modules, and then architecture, system design. There's a lot of things that you need to do. But then when it comes to landing a job, I think what matters is the projects that you've done, how you can showcase them. So with that mindset, we created a very short curriculum. Like, let's say we help someone build full stack application within just 2 weeks. I know it sounds bonkers because when I did my degree, it took me around like 2 semesters to get there, but we've nailed down the pain points and we try to solve it very quickly. And before jumping into smart contracts and learning how to do all these development in frameworks like Foundry, Hard Hat, just because you know how to support smart contracts doesn't mean you will be able to get hired as a smart contract developer, because it is also key that you are able to sort of integrate these into a front end. So like, you need a bit of skills in building a full stack Web3 application.
Really good. And I think what's interesting is obviously right now, we're at this interesting moment with AI where people maybe even thought their vertical is, hey, I'm just a specific front end UX guy with a slight understanding of back end, whereas now the vibe coding world is blowing up. I love it personally. Made a few hats myself. I think now there is a whole emphasis now on learning through creating and learning through doing. And I'm actually going to open this up to the speakers as well. Sometimes I do these spaces where I'll ask individuals to kind of speak, but I want to do the thing where I'll pause and we'll have a little awkward silence if no one jumps in. But I would love anyone's kind of hot take on what does it actually take to produce hireable talent in Web3. And if you can maybe relate it to any stories that you've had specific within your company, that'd be great. I'm not going to invite speakers. I'm just going to let the speakers unmute yourselves. And or even better, if you want to put your hand up and then I can call you up, that's actually super helpful. It saves us speaking over each other. So first one to put their hand up, happy to bring you up, and would love to know what makes hireable talent. So Ornella, you got there first. Well done. Bankless Academy. Let's hear it.
Thank you. Yes, that this topic really gets me super excited. And I think before actually getting involved in an educational initiative, right, like studying or course or cohort, I think the very, very, very first step is mindset shift, the openness, like coming into the space with clarity and that you are going to be able to make it, that even if it's new, it's okay. Everyone is learning. Obviously, the process is being very fast every time, a little bit more. But the first thing is to believe in yourself, that there's abundance of information, abundance of opportunities, and that you got what it takes to learn. So first, mindset shift, get great attitude, and if you have that, make time for it and you get connected to any of the projects here mentioned, right? Of course, even better if it's a Bankless Academy, but whatever the path that you take, if you have that power within yourself, you will be able to move forward and find a career, create a career for yourself in Web3 and learn it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Obviously, big fan of the abundance minds. I also think that Web3 isn't for everyone. And if a startup isn't your game, don't enter into Web3 because it is the fastest moving, faster than kind of the usual Web2 startup world, in my opinion. And everything is moving quick. So the right mindset there of, okay, this role is going to be very adaptable here. I couldn't agree more. The right mindset is needed. Art, I think you were next. So unmute yourself and let's hear, what produces hireable talent.
Yeah, so I have 2 points on this. So the first point is, like, if you were to really oversimplify it, and I know I oversimplified here, but most of the jobs in Web3 are basically Web2 jobs with some extra knowledge on top required. So what I mean is, if you're a good Web2 programmer, you're definitely going to be a good Web3 programmer after you learn this barrier to get onto Web3. If you did great in Web2 marketing, you will do great in Web3 marketing too as well. So this is like the point number one. And to actually get these jobs, the first thing you need to do is actually learn some actual skills. But after you know the basics of Web3, you understand what is the main terminology, etc. There is 2 main things to get hireable. And the first one is portfolio is very important, as some of the speakers mentioned before. And the second one is, which is very important, is that networking in this space is very, very important. So if you are just building skills in silence, you don't get that leverage, which is actually going to get you better job in better company for a bigger salary with bigger benefits, etc. So once you get these two parts done, you have projects that you have worked on, you can show them clearly that you are a builder, you're building stuff. Even if you're like person for hire, you still have to show that you have this builder mentality, especially in Web3. And once you've built something and like show it in your portfolio, you can network very effectively with people, get that job much.
Really, really true. And I couldn't agree more. So next up, Steph, let's hear from you.
Thank you, Art. That is so funny that you say that, because that was going to be my kind of main point here, because it's very essential to, get that education and go through it. And if you're a Web2 developer, becoming a Web3 developer by learning blockchain and diving head on into it. But the thing is that you can have the skills, but if you don't have the network or the ability to network and grow your own, you're kind of gonna get left a little bit in the lurch. So that's what I've loved about Shefi, because women will join even being in the industry for 5+ years. So they pretty much know Web3, but with us, you also get this community where you can like reach out to other people at big and small brands, where you can just kind of like advocate for yourself and meet other people who advocate for you, because we don't want to always be building in silence. We want to be hyping each other up and just really kind of making those key connections, because it's just one, networking meeting or a call or even a response to a tweet you see on the timeline that could get you the dream job you want to use with your crypto education. So I really, really also agree with that, in that, and I've made some of the best connections in any workplace here in Web3. It's so unique. Everyone's so like talented and amazing. So it's just such a key thing that, it doesn't end with the end of a boot camp or the end of a college course or anything. It's kind of ongoing, making those connections.
I absolutely love that, because I think that was my journey personally into Web3 kind of came through those relationships, through actually meeting people in person, building my own little community, my own called Marketing DAO. And the aim there was just to meet other marketers, in Web3. And what I do love, I think nearly every speaker here, you guys have got a real close community that you're helping formulate and build, because it's not just about it's not just about the education side, about the people you're doing it with, your cohorts. One of the most powerful things about when you do go through university is often the cohort you do it with, or you do go through a learning process, it's the cohort you do it with. So I love that that's an emphasis there, Steph, and Art as well. It's so good. Lewis, you've got your hand up. Let's go for it.
Yeah, no, I think that Steph and you also nail it, because when obviously skills is something that you need to acquire, knowledge is something that you need to acquire to be proficient in one job. But the key word that separate the Web2 job from the Web3 job is community. And really that is the key, I will say, key point that people need to understand, that Web3 is, yes, for sure, you need to be talented. For sure, you need to work hard. For sure, you need to have specific knowledge about the tasks that you will be doing in your day-to-day. But the big difference with other jobs is the community that is supporting you all on the way. And if you understand that part and you are able to interact with the community and to really be known in your community, that is going to make your life and your job much easier, and you will be recognized by the workplace. So you are going to be recognized by the Web3 community as someone that you are basically participating and sharing what you do. And I think that besides the skills and obviously the things that you should acquire, right? I think that is a key point, that anyone that wants to go into Web3 needs to be or needs to have a very clear view in their heads. They are not going to be hired if nobody in the community for which they want to be hired know them. If nobody knows you in that community, it's going to be hard. But if people start knowing you for your participation, because you are engaging with the main folks in that community, etc., you will be more hireable than what you will be in other kind of work environment.
I think there's so much relies as well on like reputation as well. When you kind of being around, you meet people, it helps improve your reputation. Steph, you've still got your hand up. Is that because you still want to speak?
That's my bad. It doesn't show on my end that
It's the Twitter Spaces version of a pocket dial, isn't it? When that happens, yeah. Always. It's good. Well, let me just segue into the next topic, because one of the things that we found when we did this, we went into great detail in terms of like trying to find the best providers of all the courses. And we'd actually love, if you guys know of any providers that aren't included, please just tag it on the post. We want to create literally the best resource for that. And we did that because one of the things that we're looking at is what happens when you complete these courses. So what's that next step? And I think this was in line with our thinking as well, which is you do degrees automatically get you hired? Does completing a course automatically get you hired? And one of the things that Web3 Careers owned by Bondex, and Bondex is building trusted professional profiles, and we are really looking hard on-chain certifications. And it does blow my mind, I've got to be honest, when universities just give you a PDF, 4 years of work, that hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you get a PDF saying that you were there, and someone has to just call up and say, hey, yep, this person was here. And it's just archaic. And especially in the world, decentralized IDs, where you can verify that you've done a course. I just kind of wanted to pose the question of, there's kind of two parts to this. So one, do we believe kind of PDFs and CVs going forward are dead? Because I certainly do. And also, how important is the certifications in terms of getting you hired? Again, open to the floor, raise your hand, and we'll bring you up. And let's go with Art from Mighty Academy.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of self-rucked from the personal account. There's a speaker again.
You're in good company.
Yeah, I think in terms of certificates, the role of certificates is decreasing because people want to see the actual work being done. And actually, this is what decentralized ID actually allows us to do. All of the projects that you touched, all of the contracts that you deployed, all of the contracts that you have interacted with, you everyone else can see it. And literally from one trace analysis in the blockchain explorer, they can just see all of the things that you have done, what is the experience, have you staked cryptocurrencies, do you know what it is, have you deployed any contracts if you're a dev and stuff like that. And actually decentralized ID helps massively with understanding the personalities behind and what they have actually done, what are their actual credentials. And the problem with fully on-chain certificates actually is that you might want to keep some of them private. And there are right now systems of on-chain credentials basically that allow you to have a two-state switch of private public certificates. So I believe that this is one of the use cases which is perfect for blockchain because it's a interoperability use case. So you need to interact with many different agents through certificates that you own basically, because you need to prove that you know your stuff at work. You need to go around with it, right? And prove that you are professional. And it's much easier to do it with public decentralized identity. You don't have to actually nobody has to verify and call the worker from your personal previous employers and stuff like that. And everything is just public on chain, and it's great. And we are solving the privacy part. I'm really truly bullish into interoperability use case in this case with certificate, because you can prove everything on a public blockchain without much hassle and much less hassle than before.
Yeah, really agree. And there's a great provider called Open Campus, and I think they've launched a chain called EDU chain. I think that's what they've called it. And the idea there is they're trying to provide that kind of educational certification side. And I think that there needs to be more of that, in my opinion, more kind of focus on, to your point there, Art, how do certificates show up? What level of privacy is on that? Blockchain is a perfect solution. So yeah, Imeth, would love to hear from you and from Ratana.
Hi. So I really want to make a bold statement about these certifications. Now, one of the things Metana truly highlights is that we have a job guarantee. And with the job guarantee, what we really focus is, now, if you take our Solidity Bootcamp, it's 4 months, and it's about really upskilling a developer, be able to really pummel that 2 years of industrial experience into that person, and really make sure that they have the skills that are required to face a technical interview. Then we pair it up with our job camp, which is a one-on-one weekly sort of arrangement that we do with all of the students. And what we mostly focus are on the softs, because I think I want to weigh in that if the question is about, does certifications matter? Does it matter what degree you did, what university you went to? We have the data to say that doesn't, because we've gotten people hired from sales backgrounds, from literally doing odd labor, physical labor, and they are now traveling the world as global developer advocates, backend engineers, and even senior Web3 data analysts. So my answer to that question is, I think certifications matter, but it's also important that when it comes to getting hired, you need to be able to improve your soft skills and be able to do the basics. So when it comes to applying for a job, most people, where they fail is they just click apply and wait. They don't do the follow-ups. And there's a lot of these things that we teach in our job camp that we really focus on, because that's what get our students hired. And we do offer a certification, but our main focus is getting them through the ATS or whatever. So because a CV needs to have at least 50% or more of the keywords that are there in the job descriptions to sort of pass through. And then it's totally up to the student to sort of pass the technical interview and then have these and also impact the interviewer in a unique way, right? So one of the things that we noticed, one of the key highlights that we remember was how one of our students landed a job in Talismans, and the impact he made on the interviewer made him remember this particular student because he made a comment about how his car has Dogecoin decals and he also has Shiba Inu. Have a bit of personality. Try to blend in that. And certificates are good, but really how you stand out, how you network. Like one of the speakers.
Really, really good. I know we obviously ran a report a few weeks back now, and one of the things that we kind of flagged in there was this idea that we believe that in the future everybody will have an AI that applies to them. I think we're not too far away from that at all. Feels like every day I see a new AI tool to also apply for a bazillion jobs on your behalf, and then you've got AI on the company side that then is going to actually go through all those thousands of applications and then present someone. So this idea of how do you stand out, or how do you show up, be kind of selected. I think that's where it really does come down to what you're saying there, which is, okay, well, if you get to the interview, cool, make sure you've got something really great to say and fun and be authentic. But I think the thing we love with Bondex is that we're really helping people stand out with their profile. And our next version of Talent Pool is really going to get people the ability to stand out, be trusted more than just this kind of like shotgun apply that we're seeing at the moment with a lot of AIs. But anyway, back to the topic. Lewis, you've got your hand up. Let's hear from yourself.
Yeah, I think that in terms of certification, we have a long experience about that. Our first product 6 years ago, it was about educational certification. So we were creating this on-chain certification for universities. It's still one of our main products that we have. We have issued over these years more than 40,000 certifications on-chain. So it's a topic that we know very well. And I would like really that Bondex is coming along and other players are still pushing that because we see a lot of future in that. I will really think that is one of these real use cases for the use of this technology that really makes sense so people can really verify the skills and the certifications on chain, and that is immutable and you cannot change it. Like you can change your curriculum in LinkedIn whenever you want. So from that point of view, I think that is a great use case. Unfortunately, what we have seen in the past is that it didn't take off. I think that we still are missing very key pieces of infrastructure in terms of just general user adoption of having wallets from most of the part of the population. I think that the COVID helped a lot because now everyone know how to read a QR code. So pretty soon you will have all your certification fraud in your mobile with your QR code that you can show anywhere. But there is still some challenges, and I will be blind if I don't recognize that part. So we need probably more people that will be issuing these certifications on blockchain, that we make them interoperable. So when you have a profile or online profile in Bondex, anyone can verify whatever you have done. And hopefully in the future, you even can have reviews or people that are basically betting on you and providing some good feedback also that it's keep on chain. Certifications, I think that is a great tool. Unfortunately, I think that this is still, we are still in the very early days on that to be massive, but when it will be massive, hopefully we'll be able to believe more the LinkedIn profiles that everyone has. So because everyone will have their skills and their knowledge really certified on chain.
Lewis, it's like you just recited the Bondex roadmap there. So thank you so much. That's fantastic. That's really, what I just think was
we need more of that because it really makes sense. It really makes perfect sense. It's a real use case that people can understand. And that is why we start with that several years ago. What I said, unfortunately, I think that the adoption has been really slow for some of these things. Our main customers right now, they are just regular universities. They don't even think about Web3 or anything like that, but they really like the idea of that the student has like an immutable digital proof of what they have learned and that they can share that easily with recruiters. But besides that part, that for them is more marketing, I think that the use case itself, it really makes sense. So really happy that you guys are pushing that on your agenda, because I think it will benefit to all of us.
Yeah, awesome. I think it's really cool. One of the things that happened to me personally about a few years ago now, when we got married, we actually did it online. So it sounds like a Thai bride type feel, or one of those mail order brides, but it wasn't. I was all legit, I promise. But one of the things that was really cool, I wasn't expecting, was when the marriage certificate came through. The marriage certificate had a blockchain certification on it, and I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. You can go and verify it's all on chain. I do think that the problem you're raising, I didn't have to use a wallet to sign anything, so it wasn't necessarily a tap. But I do think we're close to every iPhone, every Google device having some type of wallet. We all know that'll be a massive unlock when that happens, and a seamless moment where you can, assign your identity really easily. And there's a lot of people in the DID space who are pushing hard to be the solution. But fingers crossed, we keep seeing the progression we're seeing, which is it is getting easier. The wallets are getting simpler to set up. Think of things like Privy, that they do a good job. A few others. Sorry, I am waffling, talking about my marriage. Steph, let's hear from you.
Yeah, no worries. I want to get a little bit sappy on the X space here, because while I do totally echo the sentiments that we've been talking about, on-chain certification, interoperability, one huge thing Shefi gets from our certificates that we email to all of these women at the end of the program is how good it feels to, reach the end of something and come to the end of your sort of 8-week-long educational journey and have proof, even if it is just in a PDF that says I did this thing. Like, I run socials for Shefi, and the amount of tweets we get of people sending out like I graduated and, kind of building this hype around one another and congratulating each other is just such a feel good, and it brings our community closer and is a great way to just kind of start that post and start that networking journey to say, hey, I completed this and now I'm ready to go even deeper. And then we have the option as well to get NFTs based on the classes you've watched or the quests you've completed in our program. So then you have the aspect, not just do you have that Web 2 certificate that, you can give to your current Web 2 employer or post on LinkedIn, but you also have that addition of the Web 3 certification of like, wow, look at all cool, we have an amazing designer, all of these awesome Planet NFTs that I've collected over the course of this time. And to really leave with something concrete like that, I think it makes people feel like their educational journey was worthwhile.
I love that. I something I've actually not thought about, which is exactly describing the feeling of having something. The word self-esteem coming, it's not the right word. This feeling of pride, that's a better word. I feel like maybe what I've been talking about is very logical, very like, how do I attach it and just prove it? But what you're talking about is actually like whether it's a PDF or whatever, it's a real thing of pride when someone finishes these courses. Whatever graphic is kind of created to show that amazing and a sense of momentum that can create for themselves is really important. And you rightly shout that out, Steph. It shouldn't be overlooked. Come into Ornella at Bankless. Let's hear it.
Thanks. Echo all the comments here and the stories shared by other members of the space. I wanted to touch base on the original question, so going a little bit back when you said what happens after these courses. And basically, I would suggest to everyone to build proof of work, same as blockchains, right? Proof of everything, right? But proof of work is kind of the bridge that will get you to build a portfolio using the skill set that you know, right? Or maybe a new skill set that you want to explore within the Web3 space. And that will slowly build up to something that you can show. So then you have the pack, right? You have the education, you have the educational resources, right? You have the on-chain certifications. Like in our case, there are some professors from universities in Holland and Nigeria and Ireland asking students to actually show the Bankless Academy on-chain certifications to pass a subject matter in the university. And that was awesome to see, right? So you have the education, right? Then you have the on-chain certifications or any on-chain activity that you did while learning. Then you have what Luis shared, the community that will support you in this learning process, right? And then while having all of that, you build your proof of work or your Web3 portfolio that you can take with you and add, right, to every application that you will have for an official role in a project, in a company, or a project that is starting, or even to a DAO or to a digital community through contributions. So I would say focus on that. That's like the natural next step, creating your proof of work. work to be able to show when you apply for your future roles.
I love that. I add a little bit on that as well because I'm very similar to Ethereum, I guess. That idea of proof of work and then proof of stake. And obviously, Ether's going for a bit of transition, but that idea there of this is the work I've done, this is the provable on-chain work I've done. And I think when I think about proof of stake, I think this is what I believe in, and that speaks to me about the communities that you're in. So, are you invested in these communities? Are you contributing to them? That idea of I'm a known member in this. I've been around for a year or 2 years. And that stake that you do with your time. I think those are two really great concepts that birth from Web3 that are really, really cool to think about those next steps. So thanks so much, Anna. That's great. What I'd like to do now is I'd like to just wrap up the space, but I want to go around everyone in the room to kind of closing thoughts, closing comments. And what I'd love to know is what's the kind of one piece of advice that someone who's looking upskill in Web3 or even break into Web3, what's one thing you'd recommend them after this spaces to go ahead and do? I'm going to throw first and foremost I'm going to choose randomly. Let's go to Lewis. What's something that you think someone who can do today to help themselves break into Web3 or to upskill in Web3?
That's a really open question, right? But I will say that you should know where you stand. If you really want to learn about projects a little bit and go from there to something more deeper, probably you can start with what I mentioned at the beginning with our platform for Bequest, where you can, in a gamified way, learn about different blockchains, different projects, gain some rewards. It's fun, it's fast. It really doesn't take too much time. There are not tutorials. There are not long kind of training for you. So you get a taste of what you are getting into. Obviously, after that, you can go deeper and go through the different academies that you find for almost most of the protocols that they put that together, and some of them are really good source of knowledge. And after that, if you are really serious, especially if you are in the technical path, I really would recommend a bootcamp, as some of our colleagues were saying. The bootcamp gives you a really quick start, and after that, it's a question of get your hands dirty. And the good part is that in the technical side at least, the good part is that there are different tools. Like in Vottun, we have a developer platform that you can go in and get your hands dirty, and it's free until you start really deploying smart contracts, etc. There are plenty of tools around there that you can do the same. And as is open source, there is a lot of support from the community. You just need to get involved, right? So after that bootcamp, I really would recommend you to find something that you like and to get involved with that community that is building that particular product or protocol. And after that, I think that it's up to you. But for starters and for not technical people, probably I would recommend that to go through platforms that provide good kind of like content, and probably not go to YouTube where anyone can basically say whatever they want. And sometimes that is not really a good educational track, let's put it that way. Obviously, you are going to learn from good communicators, but I think that is much easier if you go to the source of the projects that are really trying to bring you the right content, the right information about their own projects.
And if only there was a place where you could see all the projects there and all the educational there is. Yeah, there's a fantastic thread, guys. 50 of the educational providers on the Web3 career Twitter. Go ahead and look through. There's a lot of really good providers there, and the best of them are right here on this Spaces. Steph, I'm going to come to you with Shefi. If you kind of closing thoughts, and what's the one kind of piece of advice you would give to someone kind of to take a next step?
Yeah, absolutely. My one piece of advice, and honestly, this goes for all of life advice even too, is that you don't need to do it alone. Even if you don't end up joining one of these amazing, wonderful programs we have here, or Shefi cohort 15 starting in late October, it is just so important to recognize that you don't need to go on a journey that is this complex and challenging as learning blockchain by yourself. There are so many wonderful actors in the community that would be happy to hop on a call, happy to network with you, to share insights about their project, give you advice. And I think it's just so important to lean on those folks who have been in this space for so long and make it really feel like a community, because that is what Web3 has to offer. So it's like going in, don't feel like you need to be on ChatGPT in your room trying to understand what an L2 is off the bat or how you're going to end up a year from now in the space. I think it's important to kind of ground yourself with those other community members and just really look forward to all of the growth like alongside them that coming your way. And I think that's kind of the beauty of it.
I love that. And there's almost like an osmosis effect that happens when you surround yourself with those people of like, you just pick things up. You just pick up that lingo. And the Shefi has an absolute, I'd say, cult following almost. I feel like every time I meet a marketer there who's female, they're definitely in Shefi because it's the place to be. So great job on that. And keep going on there, Steph. It's really good work. Imet, let's come to you with Matana. What's kind of closing thoughts, closing statement, and your kind of piece of advice for someone looking to take those next steps?
Throughout the conversation, I think we've been weighing in a lot of the technical roles. So when it comes to what actually works for learning and getting hired in Web3, I think there's also non-technical roles, right? So non-technical people, I think it's important that you sort of explore the space. For instance, I sort of started my whole journey by looking at what Bitcoin is and what Ethereum is and sort of interacting with the centralized exchange. And then you slowly moved into a decentralized exchange. And that's sort of my beginning of the journey in Web3. Right after that, because of my roots as a developer, I kind of looked into smart contracts, played around with Remix, IDE, and then you have OpenZeppelin Wizard as well. There's different types of contracts, ERC20, 1155 and 721 for NFTs. So those are like the basic stuff. And for developers, I would say you can, like Louise said, like go to the protocol itself, check out the developer documentation, and then try to, even you could copy paste and try to interact with one of these contract there. And then for non-technical people, I would say try to join a community, try to see what's in there and try to make friends, basically network. And that's like the first thing. And because Web3 is such an open space, even right now, no one says that, okay, these are partners in education, right? I know we are not competitors. So I like how none of us use that word. It's very open and it's very, you will be welcomed into the community with open arms, and there'll be so much growth and so supportive. All you need to have is the mindset, like Malvika said in the beginning, and also just have a good heart and, have some faith in, okay, you're exploring something new. Web3 is going to change how a lot of things work in the coming future, like Pondex is trying to do with the future of certification. Yeah, those are my 2 cents for technical and non-technical guys.
Really, really cool. And at one point, Imet, I thought you were giving me your phone number there with the amount of digits you rattled off with ERC20, IM175. Anyway, it's very good. Very good. You know your stuff more than me, which is great. Who's next? I think let's hear from Art. It's kind of closing thoughts and what your kind of advice is there to someone kind of look to kind of break into Web3. Okay, whilst we wait, let's see if we can hear from Ornella at Bankless.
Sure. Everyone, please stay curious, make questions. There are no dumb questions in Web3. Everyone is learning. Feel free to reach out. Just ask, move forward. Everyone is most welcome to try all the platforms here and that we shared in this space. But of course, I'll be biased to invite you to participate in the Bankless Academy community. We have a Telegram group that you can join if you are curious. We have the lessons for free if you want to do them with the community. And yeah, just reach out and always think through positive sum games. That's the way to build the future. Everyone wins, abundance, and open opportunities for everyone. Thank you for making this space.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for building what you're building, because I love that little Telegram group of the Bankless Academy, and it's such a welcoming group, and the content as in the course is excellent. So really great job on that, Anela. It's excellent work, and rightfully give yourself a shout out there as well. It's great. And finally, Ard, I think you're the last speaker here. Let's just hear from yourself, closing thoughts and your kind of a piece of advice to anyone looking to break into Web.
Yeah, actually, like my internet is dragging a bit, so you didn't kick me. I kicked myself twice, actually.
But, oh, wow. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so like in regards of the question, honestly, like the most straightforward option to like get started with education, credentials, and get a job and like eventually, I think if you're a lady, Shefi is the most solid pick, to be honest. Like I've been to Shefi events. I know what they provide as a community and as an education. And like if you're a lady, I think it's a no-brainer. It's not free, of course, but what you get for the price is not only the education itself, but also like the community, which I believe is very important. And like being on the Shefi events, I know that it's there, then it's actually like useful and valuable and you can actually get a lot of benefits from the community. And and they're very open. Of course, like my girlfriend is applying actually right now to Shefi. And it's a lot of advantages there for you. And the second option, or I would say like a supplemental option, or option for males, of course, as well, is I would humbly recommend our platform, Mighty Study. You can study all of the things related to blockchain, earn a lot of fun rewards, treasure chests, have a lot of fun in the middle of it. And one piece of advice I would say to everyone applying to jobs: don't get discouraged by rejections. It's normal. Job application is actually a number game. I am pretty sure that whoever it is, you will get your job if you have the skills required. Especially, it is inevitable that you will get it. Just never be discouraged. It's a numbers game. Apply to as many as possible, and just keep on going, and one day you'll get it.
That's so good. Thank you, Art. And Steph, let's get this guy an affiliate code, because that's a phenomenal sell he just did there on Shefi. Great job. And really great. Only heard great things. All right, guys. Thank you very much for all making the time, all the speakers today. If you're listening in, whether it's live or whether you're listening in post, go ahead, give the speakers a follow. They'll all appreciate it. But for now, keep learning on chain. Web3 Careers is there for your job. We've got Bondex there as well for your professional profiles to get trusted and get discovered. Really glad you all made the time today. And speakers, thank you all once again. Been a great space. Hope you all enjoyed it. And we will see you on the next one.